6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Anjana Dudangota and read by Ramesh Perius. The headlines. The President states only the Parliament holds authority over government fiscal control. All party leaders given a deadline to submit proposals, suggestions on the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. Over 700 killed in road accidents in first 4 months of this year. The Minister of Water Supply clarifies water tariffs. The chairman of Litrogas says the price of LPG cylinders will not be increased today. In foreign news, Rahul Gandhi is set to return to Parliament as top court suspends conviction. In sports, Sri Lanka men's 400-meter relay team qualify for World Athletic Competition. Now the local news in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has stressed that the government's financial accountability to Parliament, making it clear that they will only adhere to instructions and orders of Parliament in the debt optimization program. President Wickremesinghe asserted that he is committed to preventing the country from descending into anarchy by avoiding outdated political practices, and he remains devoted to developing Sri Lanka. These statements were made during the 29th annual meeting of the Coconut Growers Association held today at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute. At the event, President Wickremesinghe expressed gratitude for the invitation to attend and acknowledged the historical significance of coconut cultivation for Sri Lankan businesses. The President highlighted that until 1970, the Sinhalese people held a significant amount of coconut land, but this changed with the land reform of 1972 and 1973, leading to a decline in the capital of Sinhala businessmen. The head of state further mentioned that during the presidency of J.R. Jayawardena, efforts were made to develop the coconut industry with assistance from the Asian Development Bank. The President's Media Division says all political party leaders have been asked to submit their proposals and suggestions about the 13th Amendment to the Constitution on or before the 15th of August. Presidential Secretary Saman Ekanayake has communicated this to political party leaders in writing. At the all-party conference convened on the 26th of July, the President underscored the importance of discussing the 13th Constitutional Amendment with all parties, as it is a matter that affects the entire country. The head of state also highlighted that a discussion on this matter should involve input from all relevant parties. The conference had been organized to update the Parliament's party leaders on the National Reconciliation Programme and the North-East Development Plan. Minister of Water Supply Jeevan Thondaman has issued a clarification to address the concerns and allegations surrounding the recent water tariff increase, explaining in detail why this measure was taken. The minister pointed out that the average water board customer consumes 13.5 units per month, which approximately results in a monthly bill of 1,300 rupees under the revised tariff. There are no tariff increases for Samurdhi and tenement customers, the most vulnerable in our society. The minister explained due to rising costs, including electricity tariffs, raw materials, currency depreciation, and high interest rates, the cost of providing 1 unit, that is 1,000 litres of water, has surged to 130 rupees, and therefore it was no longer possible to provide clean and safe piped water to the water board's customers at the previous tariff. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news. The chairman of Litrogas Company, Mudita Peiris, says that the prices of liquefied petroleum gas cylinders will not be increased today, despite the price hike in the world market. However, Litrogas Lanka was slated to announce its price revision of domestic LP gas cylinders today as part of the monthly price revision based on the pricing formula. The Litrogas has announced 4 consecutive price reductions thus far this year, and following last month's previous price revision, the price of a 12.5 kilogram cylinder was brought down to 2,892 rupees and a 5 kilogram cylinder to 1,198 rupees. Meanwhile, the Labs Gas PLC has also decided not to revise the prices of domestic LPG cylinders. This was issued by the Group Chief Executive Officer of the company, Niroshan J. Peiris, while joining a press conference held earlier today. The first phase of the interview process to recruit new cabin crew for Sri Lankan Airlines was held at the BMICH in Colombo on Thursday this week. Accordingly, a large number of applicants attended the ongoing interview process, which is a two-day event. The second phase of the interview will get underway tomorrow. Sri Lankan Airlines officials revealed that they had received 8,000 applications for the interview process, where only 200 to 300 will join Sri Lankan. And that concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatma.
Moving on to the main news story, the President's Media Division says Dr. P.A. Kiribandeniya, the founder of Sanasa Movement, has been appointed as the Chancellor of Wayamba University of Sri Lanka. The appointment was made by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Accordingly, Dr. Kiribandeniya will be in office as Wayamba University's Chancellor for a period of 5 years with immediate effect. Dr. Kiribandeniya graduated from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura in 1965 and was awarded a doctorate from the University of Ruhuna for yeoman services rendered by him to uplift the cooperative movement in Sri Lanka. Dr. Kiribandeniya is a special recipient of the Vishwa Prasadani Presidential Award in 1996, one of Sri Lanka's highest and most prestigious national honours. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatma.
In Watchlight this evening, the police reported that over 700 persons have died in road accidents reported within the first 4 months of this year. Police spokesman SSP Nihal Taldua stated that a majority of accidents involved motorcycles. He further stated that 8,202 accidents have been reported as of 30th of April this year, and among them 667 were road accidents. Among the road accidents, 709 persons have died, 2,160 sustained serious injuries, while 3,201 are minor accidents. Among the 709 deaths, 220 were motorcyclists, 102 were passengers, and 179 were pedestrians. SSP Taldua further said that the motorcycles were identified as the cause for a majority of the accidents, followed by three-wheelers. He requested motorcyclists and three-wheeler drivers to ensure to adhere to road rules in order to prevent road accidents. And that came to you in Watchlight. The World News is next. Moving on to the bulletin of world news, first the headlines. Rahul Gandhi is set to return to Parliament as top court suspends conviction. South Korea scrambles to aid Scout Jamboree amid August swelter. Serbian coal miners uncover ancient Roman ship. Now the world news in detail. India's top court today suspended the defamation conviction of Rahul Gandhi, a decision that could pave the way for the senior opposition politician to return to Parliament after his disqualification. Rahul Gandhi was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment in March in a case that critics have said showed threats to the rule of law in the world's largest democracy. He was turfed out of the legislature as a result, but has stayed out of jail while appealing the case up to the Supreme Court in New Delhi. South Korea is scrambling to support an outdoor youth gathering, taking place at the reclaimed tidal flat amid scorching August temperatures, as hundreds were treated for heat-related symptoms in the event's first couple of days. The 25th World Scout Jamboree opened on Tuesday, hosting about 43,000 people from 158 countries. The quadrennial event is taking place at the Saemangum Delta at Boan County along Korea's southwest coast, where observers note conditions can be punishing, with little to no natural shade. Archaeologists in Serbia are painstakingly brushing sand and soil off the ancient woodwork of a Roman ship discovered by miners in a vast open-cast coal quarry. After an excavator at the Damro mine uncovered some timber, experts from the site of a nearby former Roman settlement known as Vemenisium rushed to try and preserve the skeleton of the ship, the second such discovery in the area since 2020. Back to the headlines of the world news. Rahul Gandhi is set to return to Parliament as top court suspends conviction. South Korea scrambles to aid Scout Jamboree amid August swelter. And Serbian coal miners uncover ancient Roman shape. And that concludes World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Vacancies for women from Desha Sri Lanka for housemaids in Kuwait, Oman and Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 58 years. Contact number 037 7500 500.
In development news, the Ceylon Electricity Board has finally called for tenders to execute the hybrid power projects in 3 northern islands of Sri Lanka using a grant of $12 million from India, ditching China from the venture completely. Sri Lanka in January 2021 awarded the contracts to Chinese firm Sinosar Eshwin to install a hybrid renewable energy system in Nainavatu, Delft and Anada off the coast of Jaffna, but scrapped it later after India protested the Chinese involvement. This led to a commercial rift with China. India has already ventured out to invest in Sri Lanka's energy sector with the aim of interconnection of the 2 national grids. Adani, a leading Indian company, has secured the project approval to start 2 wind power plants in Mannar and Punareen to generate about 350 megawatts of power. The company is expected to commission the project by 2025. And that was Development News.
Vacancies for women from Desha Sri Lanka for housekeepers, home cooks, caretakers and home nurses in Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia and Singapore for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews with foreign agents are now on. Come whether you have a passport or not. Branches, Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 037 7500 500.
Moving on to sports news, Sri Lanka's men's 400-meter relay team qualified for the World Athletic Championship in Budapest, Hungary as the 12th out of 16 eligible teams to get this qualification. This was confirmed by Sri Lanka Athletics Secretary Saman Kumar Gunawardena. The 8 teams who were finalists at the World Championship 2022 directly qualified, and the other 8 teams qualified through the best performance in the qualification time period ended on the 30th of July. Kalinga Kumarage, who set up a new 400-meter record at National Athletic Championship, is the key member of the 400-meter relay team, while Aruna Darshana, Rajita Rajakaruna and Pabasara Niko are the other members of the team. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka sprinter Yupun Abekon, who is based in Italy, already qualified for World Championship, but due to his leg injury, he has decided not to compete at the World Athletic Championship, said SLH Secretary Saman Kumar Gunawardena. Yupun had discussed with Secretary last week and confirmed his unavailability due to injury and will be more focused on Asian Games. And that was sports news.
Go ekatiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dagapu veena habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship eka menna.
the all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dreams.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Moving on to business news, the Bank of Ceylon, Sri Lanka's #1 bank, celebrated its 84th anniversary at a ceremony held at the bank's head office, Colombo 1. The ceremony began with special religious sermons invoking blessings on the staff and all customers of the bank. The event held with the patronage of the bank's chairman, President's Counsel, Mr. Ronald C. Pereira, and the General Manager, Mr. Russell Fonseca. Members of the bank's board of directors, corporate and executive management, staff members, customers and well-wishers were gathered at the head office to celebrate the event. Similarly, the bank's branch, Network 2, celebrated the anniversary along with their loyal customers and well-wishers. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekatiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dagapu veena habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship eka menna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, the Oversight Committee on Environment, Natural Resources and Sustainable Development has been notified that there have been several incidents where the government had been deprived from receiving the expected tax due to the Chinese and Thai nationals illegally buying local gemstones at a very low value from the market. It was also revealed that even if an individual has to pay a tax of 2.5% while importing gems for re-export by courier, anyone can bring large quantities of precious gems as hand luggage by paying only $200. The chair and the Gems and Jewelry Authority told the committee that policies are currently being formulated to regulate the encroachment of foreign nationals into the gem industry in the country. And the committee emphasized the need for immediate implementation of the relevant policies. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, on to the weather report. The Meteorology Department says several spells of light showers will occur in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Gaul and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at few places in the Uva and eastern provinces during the evening or at night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. And that was the weather report. And now to conclude this news broadcast, a recap of the main news headlines. The President states only the Parliament holds authority over government fiscal control. All party leaders given a deadline to submit proposals, suggestions on the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. Over 700 killed in road accidents in the first 4 months of this year. The Minister of Water Supply clarifies water tariffs. The chairman of Litrogas says the price of LPG cylinders will not be increased today. In foreign news, Rahul Gandhi is set to return to Parliament as top court suspends conviction. And in sports, Sri Lanka men's 400-meter relay team qualify for World Athletics competition. And with that, we conclude this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.